Hello, I am going to talk about four pandemics in history, including the coronavirus. We started with the Black Plague. The Black Plague was, according to Anthony Virgili in National Geographic, is a disease that was transmitted through fleas, especially which inhabited animals such as rats and other rodents. These fleas have the bacterial Yersinia pestis that they manage to infect people through their bite. This disease began in the 14th century in China and ended with its last outbreak in the early 18th century. The contagion was possible due to the coexistence between rats and people in barns, mills, and houses, according to Anthony Virgili in National Geographic, since the rats fed on the grain that could be transformed and stored in these places. This disease was also called bubonic plague because it was called bubon due to the swelling of the lymph nodes, a symptom that the disease produces. This disease had a high mortality rate since, according to Rodrigo Leal Baker in his article, Brief History of Pandemics. This pandemic reduced the global population from 450 million to 300 million, which translates into an exaggerated amount of deaths. 150 million people died due to the bubonic plague. In conclusion, this pandemic has been one of the most serious over time due to the high percentage of mortality, as well as its ease of spread and complex finding of the entity that generates this disease, in addition to the fact that rats live and travel with people normally. So it was difficult to control these rodents that carried fleas that carried the virus. We continue with the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu was a disease caused by the H1N1 virus that, unlike the Black Plague, is not clear about its origin. Some people point to pigs, and on the other hand, other people mention that the virus has origin in birds. Finally reaching a consensus, as mentioned by Thomas Pomarola and Andrew Anton in the Emerging Disease magazine, the virus is the product of several regrouping events between human, swine, and avian viruses. Contagion of the Spanish flu is believed then that it was possible due to the situation that exists at the time due to the First World War, due to the union of viruses between animals and combatants, due to the events that occurred. Unlike the Black Plague, the Spanish flu is misnamed because, as you might think, it did not start in Spain, but as Maria Coutinho said in the journal Internal Medicine of Mexico, the country was neutral during the First World War, so its press was not censored. Unlike in countries had war, and it had been the only one to publish about said flu, making it seem that only Spain was where cases of influenza infections were occurring. Mortality rates here are lower than those of the Black Death, since there are rates of between 20 and 40 million deaths, according to Murillo Codina in his article, Remember the Spanish Flu. It can be concluded that the Spanish flu hits only worldwide after the First World War and that presently one possible cause of said virus is due to the events that occurred in the First World War, as well as its high mortality is due to the difficulty of finding the origin of the virus. Now we continue with the Ebola. Ebola is a disease produced by different types of viruses. According to the World Health Organization, these viruses are Bundibugyo Ebola virus, Zaire Ebola virus, Brisbane Ebola virus, and among others. And the origin of the Ebola disease, like the Spanish flu, is not clearly known. However, according to Cyril Martinia-Burgos, in his article, Ebola virus disease, but in particular, some species are frugivorous. They are carriers of the Ebola virus. The onset of this disease occurred for the first time in 1976 in South Sudan, formerly in Sahara in Africa. According to World Health Organization data until now has had no end, the 17 outbreaks in the world population. The contagion of Ebola is possible in many ways, since the virus, when passing from animals to humans, can be transmitted through direct contact with people, as well as with various fluids such as spit, blood, urine, feces, semen, among others. According to World Health Organization in its publication Ebola virus disease, this disease is named thus according to its origin. The second reported case occurred near the river called Ebola. The mortality rate of Ebola, unlike the Black Plague and the Spanish flu, was low. Marion Colbert, in her article for Cielo magazine, said that the mortality rate was 35%, occurring in the outbreak of 2014-2016, a number of 6,070 deaths. To reflect in this pandemic, as the other, the virus has been transmitted from animals to humans, which is why it is worth highlighting the importance of proper management of this disease that can be serious for humanity due to the deaths that it can leave behind. Ebola has been a disease that failed to cause so many deaths worldwide. However, its symptoms have been really strong, and the means of transmission is highly variable, so it's a disease that must be treated with great care. Ending with the coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, or mostly known as COVID-19, due to its beginnings in 2019, is a virus of which it's now that its carrier, the bug, however, its intermediary, is not known that it's the animals that transmitted the virus from the bug to the human. In the article SARS-CoV-2, COVID-19, the virus, the disease, and the pandemic, written by the Scotrion in Montoya, is mentioned that the first registered cases occurred in works of a seafood market in the city of Wuhan, China. This was at the end of December 2019, with the virus still in force so far in 2020, as the cure is still uncertain. The contagion of COVID-19 was possible by the consumption of wild animals, as is typical in China, as well as by contact with fluids expelled by an infected person, according to the World Health Organization, through the mouth or nose. This occurs not only from coughing or sneezing, but also from talking, singing, or snorting. The disease is named in this way because it is one of the different types of coronavirus, which, according to the World Health Organization, is a broad family of viruses that can cause disease in both animals and in humans. According to Diaz Castrillon and Toro Montoya, in their article for the magazine Medicine and Laboratory, the death rate of the coronavirus is 2.3%, considered low and causing a greater impact on older adults with disease, and that so far has left a balance of more than 1 million people died around the world. This pandemic in the 21st century has left a lot of learning, mainly that as citizens we must learn the rules of self-care, and that through this we not only protect ourselves but also protect our family and friends. Also, the coronavirus is a disease with a low mortality rate. It cannot be considered a simple flu due to the serious symptoms that it can cause in some people, leading to death. In conclusion, each contagious disease must be treated with care. We must be aware of the danger that we can run by not having adequate self-care measures. If you take care of yourself, you take care of